Morning, good morning. You are now tuned into another edition of It's Too Early for All That. I am your humble host, Jay, filmmaker, animator, and your guide to everything under the sun. I've got coffee in hand, excitement in my heart, and I'm ready to kick the day off with some fresh, hot takes. And I'm joined by none other than my co-host, Lee. How are you doing today, my good man? All right. Before we get started, I'd like to touch on something that's pretty sad. The voice actor Doc Harris, English narrator of the Dragon Ball Z series, has sadly passed away at the age of 76. So we're not going to do a moment of silence because, but he is a bigger part of my childhood as well as Lee's. So just a quick shout out to him and his family. And yeah, you did a lot when you were on this earth.
Wait, the guy that would go next time on Dragon Ball Z, that guy?
Yeah, he passed away.
I had no idea. The new game came out today too. That's fucking crazy timing.
He came out, grand opening, grand closing. It was awful. So, moving on.
Fucking guy.
The new Joker film, people absolutely abhor it. It flopped. It made $40 million and is on track to make as much money as Morbius. People hate the idea that it was a musical, and the idea for Joker 2, the story has come out that it ultimately came from a dream that Joaquin Phoenix once had. He said he had a dream where it was a musical, and people really hate it, but the studio ran with it. What are your thoughts on this?
It was his idea to do that?
It was his idea. It was a dream.
No wonder it's so fucking like auteur-ish. I thought it was the screenwriter director's idea because I could see it. Who was it? Todd Phillips? No, not Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips.
It was Todd Phillips. Okay. Because I was thinking I could maybe see him doing that, but I also it sort of didn't really fit. So this being a Joaquin Phoenix idea totally makes sense to me. But after from what I've heard about it and how you described it, I'm still fucking with the idea. Them going for a more non-comic book, more of a like character study ish take on the movie. And I forgot what I was going to say about this, but I was going to read two comments from a clip two TikTok comments from a clip that I posted on TikTok about us talking about this movie yesterday. It sort of proves a point where it's like it's a weird thing that like men now, or like a subsect of men, mostly ones that post comments on social media, they really like victimizing themselves in just like a weird way. Like, okay, so like I'll read this one. It was a clip where we were talking about, that we're seeing that this movie is about making sure you don't idolize this guy or this type of, this person. Don't idolize the loner, the person who always feels like it's a world versus him, all this other shit. And it's like, it's not a cool guy. Like, don't do this. So one guy obviously took this to heart and commented, "Not cool. I'm a loser. Damn. Also, not a crackhead." He's saying that because at the beginning of the clip, you're saying, dude, if you wanna see the Joker in real life, go talk to any crackhead in LA. That's what you said.
Oh, okay. That point still stands. If you want to go see the mentally ill, go hit the random street. Well, me, I can step outside and see mentally ill people any time of day I want. That's my point, is that the mentally ill have overrun the streets. And if you want to see Joker 2, it's everywhere. That's the point of the movie, is that
it's like
we're not nice to each other. We step over each other. We look through each other. We idolize people like Bruce Wayne and really rich, wealthy people that's going to do absolutely nothing for you. Elon's going to do nothing for you. He's going to put a broken neural link in your brain and switch it off when you don't make the payments. Get off your knees. That's all the movie is saying.
Because I was also going to say like that, and then specifically like when it comes to the character of the Joker, this is a portrayal of what that guy would be like in real life. Like, take all the fancy like comic book shit out, like some guy that's running a crew of goons that's getting ready to blow up a bank and shit like that. He would not be that quote unquote cool. Yeah, the literally me character that people try to make him out to be. He would be Arthur Fleck, like what you're looking at. So that's why I thought that comment was funny, because it's like, dude, you're proving the point. The fact that he took it to heart so much, because we're talking about a fictional character, but his comment is legit. Not cool. I'm a loser. He's legit going, literally me. I'm a loser. damn, also not a crackhead. And it's like, nobody said you were. So you're taking that on yourself. The other comment that I also thought was funny was, it's not even that it's just I hate you towards a specific kind of loners that liked the first film. They risked box office. I think he means they risked the box office just to hate on the fans. So it's, again, people who are victimizing themselves identifying with this weirdo fucking character that I think you're more supposed to sympathize or empathize with. You're not supposed to fully identify with this fucking guy, but they're doing that anyway. And it's also weird that I'm pretty sure as binary as shit is gotten now, this is probably one of those like go woke go broke guys. So it's just funny to me. And their whole thing is always like, well, like, look at them trying to pander to general audiences or like the modern audience and stuff like that. But in so many words, that's sort of what this guy's saying that he wanted from the sequel. Because the sequel went off in its own, again, like I said, in this auteurish sort of way. It's a vision. It's a singular vision. It's some artsy fartsy shit that some guy came up with. It's artistic integrity. But this guy's saying, nah, not that. Pander. Like, but it's like, don't pander to the fucking queers and the fucking blacks and Jews. Don't pander to the non-white. Pander to me, the guy who goes out of his way to be fucking antisocial or asocial and doesn't get along with people. And it's just like, or people don't get along with me. And it's like, it's never people, whenever you talk to them, it's never people don't get along with you. It's like, you go out of your way to not get along with them. You're a piece of shit. You're an asshole. You are very off-putting.
It's funny that you said pander, right? And it's funny that you say that because the film that just got recently released to video on demand, Deadpool versus Wolverine, was literally fan service the movie. It pandered hardcore to the fans, was unabashedly like, did not care if you knew about it or not. And people were shitting on it for pandering. And it gave fans, the last time I was that excited and that happy to walk out of a theater was I had saw Spider-Man No Way Home, which also pandered.
Yes.
And gave me what I wanted. Because you know what? It's a comic book movie. It's a movie where fantasy comes to life. And I don't need an original Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 flick every time I walk into the comic book movie. Sometimes I just want to get pandered to. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Joker and Joker 1 didn't pander to you. And Joker 2 is not supposed to pander to you because the first one didn't. You just happen to connect with the one time the underdog stood up for himself and shot some people. And then he went a little crazy, bought some clown makeup, and started dancing on some stairs. And then you just went out and bought a red suit at your local thrift market and thought you was him. But guess what, dude? He's a mentally ill dude. He's mentally ill. If you're connecting with him, what does that say about you, my man? It says more about you than it does you shitting on Todd Phillips and the rest of the people that made the movie. They're just giving you the truth that he's a mentally ill man. And I don't know why people can't connect that. I just don't get it. You're right.
No, what it says about him is, I'm some schmuck that desperately wants to be different. And you're not. You're just some fuck like the rest of us. We're all just some fuck that's just... That's why archetypes exist. That's why, like, you know, we're all derivative of something. Like, stop trying so hard to be fucking different. Just be who you are and what comes naturally to you and what you like, and develop skills and shit. Stop trying to, like, you know, fit into some weird box where you think you're gonna be some guy that walks around with a fucking revolver in his trench coat in the middle of June. He's gonna be so, like, he's some fucking
Everybody
badass.
thinks they're Neo.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're Neo. All right. So moving on. This past weekend, I saw 2 horror films, right? Streaming movies. One was on Hulu. It was called Hold Your Breath with Sarah Paulson. Horrible. And another one, it was a Salem's Lot remake. And that movie, I saw the last 30 minutes of it. I'm not going to lie. I saw the last 30 minutes of that flick. But that movie, it looked good, but neither one felt like a film. And I want to talk about that. Why don't movies feel like films anymore? It feels like really good made for TV movies. But like, it'll be cinematic as hell, but it'll still just feel like a TV movie. Like, it doesn't have the weight. I don't know.
Because that's
Is
what
it the
they are.
cameras they're using? Is it the cameras they're using? Is it the way the story is told? Why does the film not feel cinematic?
Because of what you just said. There's no those departments that were making like fucking like Disney Channel movies or like made for TV movies. Those had to go somewhere. They went to fucking streaming because you can just drop it on there. There's no TV channel. People aren't watching TV, so that's where you're getting them. You think they can afford to just, you know what I mean? You think they can afford to just keep doing like all the multi-million-dollar projects? Those are still going to theaters. You're still getting, films, proper movies and shit like that. It's just that now that streaming is more widely available and can bring in more money, now you can afford. All that's happening is now you can afford to get a higher caliber actor in a fucking made for TV movie because they can afford to book them.
I agree with that. But even films that were in theaters, when they come to streamers, they don't feel cinematic. Like they don't feel like a movie, you know? Like, okay, I'll give you an example. I saw the movie The Front Room with Brandy, and it's an A24 flick. And it's a movie about a chick, her and her husband, she's pregnant, and Brandy is pregnant, and her white husband, I said white because it's part of the story. Her white husband, his father passes away, and his mother-in-law moves in. And the reason they let her move in is because she's bringing a lot of money, but she's bringing like that old Southern mentality into the house. But she's like an old senior. And the movie is funny. The movie has really funny movie moments. Like I was the only one laughing in the theater because I was like, this shit is obviously a comedy. Like because people went into the theater thinking it was a horror flick, but I was laughing out loud at like shit that was obviously a joke. And then people started getting that it was a joke because I was laughing like so hard. But anyways, I said it to say that the film was cinematic, but it felt like a TV show. It didn't feel like a movie. Like even Beetlejuice, which I saw in theaters. Beetlejuice looks really good. But after I finished it, I went home and I watched Beetlejuice 1. And the tone is totally different. Same director, 20, 30 years later. Tone is totally the same. I mean, tone is the same. Obviously, Beetlejuice is a lot more tame than Beetlejuice 1. Because in the first one, Beetlejuice is a goddamn pedo perv. He's a pedo perv. He's trying to get with like 16, 15-year-old Winona Ryder. And in the new Beetlejuice, instead of him trying to like smash on Winona Ryder's daughter, he's still trying to get with her. And he's not as creepy and he doesn't make damn near no sex jokes. And like two of the actors that were in the flick are not in the new one because they've been canceled due to sexual assault allegations.
Who were they? I can't remember.
It was the girl's father. They just had his head bitten off, and turns out he had a sexual assault case on him. And Alec Baldwin, not sexual assault, but he's out here killing people.
Rust thing.
He killed somebody. So like, he couldn't show up, and I'm pretty sure that pissed off Gina Davis, who was the wife. She was like, "Damn, missed out on a good paycheck. You can't check a barrel." But that's neither here nor there. I'm not making jokes. I'm not making light of that. But I know Gina Davis was Birdman hand rubbing when she heard about that. Oh, we eat good tonight.
They want this back?
They're bringing it back, baby. And they were like, "Not so fast, Gina. You know what Alec did?" And she's just like, "Oh, that is my husband. Fuck." But that movie didn't feel like a film. It felt like a really high quality made for TV movie.
Was it shot on film or was it digital? The digital camera.
It's Tim Burton, so I'm assuming it's shot on film. I'm assuming.
But you don't know these.
I don't know. I don't know what they made him do. He seems like a director has a lot of control, but even he probably doesn't have juice like he used to have. You know what I mean?
No, that or he could just go choose to do the easier thing. Like if they, because I don't know what they shot Wednesday on, but if they were using digital cameras, he was just like, "Fuck it, I know these now. Let's just use these." The only person I know for sure that still shoots on film is Tarantino.
And his films look totally different.
Yeah, that could.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a relic of the past. Maybe I'm a relic of the past.
No, because you're right. It comes down to lighting and stuff like that. And I've noticed the same thing when I've watched older movies. It's like this feels cinematic, like when I'm watching like an older movie, just because of the way like the camera moves and the cinematography. And I guess it's also like a big thing with the lighting. Like now, most things, because they're digital, they tend to look very I don't want to use the word plasticky, but I can't think of a different word. Just very vibrant, plasticky.
I know what you mean.
Just new. They always look new. Okay, so there's going to be a new game set in the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe, like in the franchise. It's been like they revealed that they were working on it. I think it's Saber Interactive that's working on it. I don't know what the fuck they've worked on before, but I've heard of that. They're either a publisher or developer before. And it's going to be in that world, but it's not going to be based on Aang, the Last Airbender. So I don't know if it's going to be set before its time. No, they said it was going to be set before its time. I remember that that tidbit came out, and I'm very interested because they've done several games before, licensed games of Avatar: The Last Airbender. They've even done a Korra one, but they've always been sort of cheap bullshit, like not really what people are expecting or really want. The closest they got was the Korra: The Last Airbender game that was developed by Platinum Games. But again, it was like a lower budget game, and then people were upset about that. They were like, "Oh, it's Platinum Games, so it's gonna be like good action and shit like that." And the game came out, it was decent, but it was like they expected just because it was Platinum Games that it was gonna be like the biggest game ever. Like you're gonna replay through the story all over again, or like play some new original story starring her, and it's like, no, they don't have money for that. They didn't give them a budget for that. Licensed games are still fucking licensed games. They're still property games. Like they just because some have done like what were you asking?
Has any has any images, leaks, or anything like that come out or nothing? Okay, so it's just an announcement.
Yeah, it's just an announcement.
Do we know what system at least? Because this sounds
probably
interesting.
Current gen stuff, PS5. You know what? No, yeah, probably current gen stuff. It'll probably be like engine because no one knows when the next generation of shit's coming out. Like when it comes to PlayStation 6.
And this is going to be an original character?
Yeah.
In the Avatar world? Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's cool. Well, where are they getting the mythology from to going forward? Like, you know, if the show is ended, the cartoon is wrapped, where are we getting the new mythology from in the Avatar Last Airbender world?
Have you ever watched it before?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's from the cycle.
Okay.
There were always avatars in the past. There will always be avatars in the future, unless something weird happens where there's an avatar that's killed in the avatar state, and then the cycle ends. But the way it sets up is like every life, like it's a reincarnation cycle. That's what the avatar is.
Gotcha. So they're just picking up a just different story from the future or some stuff.
Yeah, it's like the way they set it up, like lore wise, with the Last Airbender, it's like you can do anything with that franchise. Because there will always be an avatar, so you could set it at like any setting, like put in like with the sequel series Korra, it was in like a steampunk-ish future, and then so from there they can just iterate on that. They could eventually do one where it's like a game or any property in the universe where it's like a cyberpunk futuristic world, or they can go back like really in the like way back in the past and have one where like people live in caves and shit. They could do whatever, like a Samurai Jack-ish fucking world. Or a like Princess Mononoke style one where it's like a mid like industrial revolution type shit. They can do anything with it because it's always set in a cycle of like an airbender dies and then it goes into a waterbender, and then a waterbender dies and then like the next avatar is born and as a earthbender, or that earthbender dies, the next avatar is born as a firebender. It just keeps going. You can do whatever with it. So you'll probably hear about it for a while. You can make money off of it.
I don't have an opinion about it.
That's fair.
Anything else popping in comics or gaming world?
Nothing yet. There was just new releases. The like I said, the Dragon Ball Z game came out today or like sometime this week. Sparking Zero. I really want to play it. Don't have a console for it yet though, but that's definitely going to be on the list. It's the first time they've done one in decades, or around a decade. Because like the last time they did one in this series was when you and I were kids, like the Budokai Tenkaichi series. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. What's so exciting about this Sparking Zero? Sparking what?
Sparking Zero. It's a Budokai Tenkaichi game. They haven't released one in like over. So you remember like back in the day, like back when we were in like middle school, and everyone used to come over and we play that Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah, the fight one, Budokai.
Yeah.
I remember Budokai on PS2.
Yeah. They haven't made one of those since the PS2. That's why it's a big deal.
They're getting our old asses. Getting our old asses to get off the couch, knocking kids over to pick up a copy. Get out of the way.
That's legit what's
Real
happening.
men are buying games.
Because like all I've been seeing on TikTok today when I was like uploading clips and shit were dudes around our age and like maybe like a little bit younger. They're all like, oh, but like the fucking jam's back, my shit's back. They've just been fucking playing. They've been streaming.
They're like,
and playing
damn, Unc, damn, Unc, you ain't got to buy it physical. You know, you can buy it digital.
You can download this shit, huh? Nah, I gotta get out. I gotta get out the house. This baby's driving me
I gotta
crazy.
go to GameStop. I gotta drive to GameStop. Get your old ass out the way. Go pick your kids up for daycare, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Nah, they had that talk with their chick. They already know what time it is.
They already know what time it is. They said, like when the new NCAA football came out. Did you hear that? They said, why did you? They said the new game just dropped, and I just became a horrible father. Like, that was just a joke because they haven't dropped a new NCAA football game since like we were in high school, bro. Like 07, 08 was like the last year. And they said, like, I just became transformed into like the dad from Fresh Prince, you know, Will's father.
Yeah.
And they said,
can't help
they
this,
said,
man.
how'd you leave your kids?
Happen.
Yeah, they said, how did you leave your kids at daycare? I don't know, man. It just happened. You know? I got the game. It just happened. So, you know, hey,
No, bro,
you gotta let them get a free pass.
A bunch of shit from our like childhood is being redone. Like, so they're doing that new Dragon Ball Z game that came out. They redid Metal Gear Solid 3, a remake of that's coming out.
This is just pander service, bro.
No, but I mean, like, people want. Service. Now you're doing the pander thing.
Like I said earlier, I said earlier in the episode, I have no problem with it. But
there's more history behind
fan service.
It's weird, but there's more history behind each one of these. So the reason that they're doing it is because, like, Bandai Namco needs something, Konami needs something because they've been out of the game forever when it comes to Silent Hill 2. Like you said about the NCAA game, they haven't had one of those and forever, so they have to do like a surefire thing. They can't just make a new one because they've done that for like each of those brands, and like every time they do, the new kids just shit on.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if y'all like, because it's like if y'all, so like think about it as a business owner, like somebody as a publisher, like where am I gonna go then? It's just like, all right, well, these old niggas like spending money on shit that they liked, and I know that they like this, so why don't we just give them what they want? Fuck these kids. It's legit turned into fuck these kids. They complain about everything. They have no idea what the fuck they want. Let's go back to the old dudes.
Hey, we got money to buy a game, not play it long enough to get good at it because we're busy at work 9 to 5. And we play it a couple hours and go, oh, it fulfilled my needs. Okay, I gotta go to sleep because I gotta get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah, and so, then
we're not on Twitter complaining if the game doesn't have updates or if the game is not the best or if the game is half finished because we only gave it 2-3 hours a day. We're not like
exactly. We're not fucking kids that have time to get up and complain about shit on social media. And you add into the fact that it's even better for sales because, like, again, like you said, we'll buy this shit. And because we're into it, and then all these kids are just influenced by whatever. They're all just sheep. You will hear them say, like, if you bring up something, well, like, it's not the Metacritic says this or whatever, and it's just like, who gives a fuck? Like, I used to buy anime games that would like score like 6 out of 10s, 5, 6, 7 out of 10s and shit like that, but I wouldn't give a fuck because it's like, I want to play the Eureka 7 game. They put one out on PS2. I like that anime. They're putting a game out. I want it. I get the gaming magazine, and then like the reviewer be like, you look at the score and it's like 5.5 out of 10. What the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this for? And it's like me. I'm buying it. Like, I'm getting it. Like, this is who it's for. I don't give a fuck what you say. But these kids give a fuck.
Yeah, for some reason they care. They read Rotten Tomatoes before they go to the theater. I don't do any of that. I will raw dog a movie. I will raw dog a video game. I do not give a shit.
Like, us and the generations before us are the reason that cult classics are a thing. Because everybody, like the population as a whole was just like, or like the wider population, were like, we don't give a fuck about this. What the fuck is this? Who is this for? And then people who are actually in art were like, me. This is for me. I fuck with this. I know what the fuck this is. I get what they're going for. I know how to read. I have media literacy, so like I get what this is, and then and then years pass, and then all of a sudden it becomes a hot property because enough people gave a fuck back then, and so like that's why they're cashing in on all this nostalgia shit because it's like people our age or our generation and before, we like shit.
Old niggas. Old
Yeah,
niggas.
we like shit. We
Moving
know
on.
how to like things.
Moving on. All
Yes.
right. So I came across something funny and I want to get your opinion on it. Okay. So I saw a clip of Damon Dash was talking. He was talking to New Age Media or something like that. That was the name of the company. And in the clip, he talks about all the stuff that's been coming out with Diddy and Jay-Z and just all the allegations. And he goes, oh man, I'm finding out all these rappers are gay, all these singers are gay, everybody's gay. And I'm just thinking, I'm a Harlem nigga, I'm doing this pause thing. Pause might have really saved my life, Pause might have really like let people know my boundaries, but it might have really saved my life in the long run. And, that's the quote. That's basically what he says.
The fuck does that mean?
But my thing is, what is wrong with Harlem niggas? Like, is this a mental illness that's going on? Like, why are people so afraid of gay people, man? Like, it's not that deep. I get pause and I get hold on and all that. Like, it is hilarious. We've been doing it since the 6th grade. It's the funniest goddamn game ever. Pause. Hey, yo. Like, I get it. It's funny. It's hilarious. But at a certain point, we don't really care. We don't care if somebody's actually gay. I mean, I never cared. What about you? Did you care? What are your thoughts on the pause game?
What you just said, I never give a fuck. It was an actual game. Because it's like, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna fuck me. They only ever want other gay dudes. So it's like,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they bring that like, it's like what you're talking about, sir, are fucking sex offenders. You're talking about like men who commit sexual assault. Because it's like, they're not gonna do anything to you unless they try to like do something to you. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it's like, yeah, all you got to do is fight. But it's like I've never had to fight because like anytime there's been like a gay person around, it was just sort of like they know what the deal with me is. It's like I'm not, so that's it. There's nothing else.
I will tell you the funniest story. About this. Okay, so when I was 23, 24, I went over to my friend Bianca's birthday party. You don't know Bianca, but if you know Bianca, everybody knows I was her only straight friend, her only straight male friend.
Wait, is this the chick that looked just like Rihanna?
No. That's okay. Somebody else. That's somebody else.
Okay.
All right, so Bianca and I are real good friends, and she's having a birthday party. Her best friend's named Angel. He's a gay guy. Everybody at the house looks like, it's just a bunch of drag queens literally in her apartment, which is filled with just a bunch of gay people. And everybody's just partying, right? So I'm like, all right, this is cool. And I walk in, I hug Bianca, and her friend Angel keeps leaving. He keeps leaving the apartment. And I go, what's up with Angel? Because I met him one other time before that. And she's just like, oh, I don't know. He has to go get ice or something. He keeps leaving something in the car. So I was there maybe 3.5 hours, something. And just like, just drinking, talking with Bianca, talking with just people at this party. And everybody was saying, this app, everybody kept talking about the app because it was hot at the time. I was like, oh, you're talking about Tinder? And they're like, nah, Grindr. I'm like, what's Grindr, right? And then the guy pulls up an app and he shows me like locations. You can see where the users are. I had never seen no shit like this. He shows me like where the users are, and it's just red dots everywhere, right? And he goes, he says, Angel comes in and he goes, Bianca, I'm sorry. He looks at his phone. He says, I forgot ice. And she said, bitch, you just said that you went to go get ice. He said, yeah, I forgot it. And he left. And then the gay guy said, man, he ain't doing nothing but hooking up with motherfuckers in this apartment. And that's what he was doing. And it blew my fucking mind. He was literally like leaving and just like fucking people in different apartments and just like finding them and hooking up. And then coming back and then getting like dinged on his phone and then being like, oh, I got another fish. And then just like running over there, having sex with that person and then coming back. And when the guy at the party explained it to me, he literally had to peel me off the floor because I was laughing so hard. I was like, dude, this shit is amazing, bro. Like, this is like, it's literally dick on demand, but like, I'm straight, but I'm just saying, like, I was in awe. I was like, yo, that's lit, bro. Like, you're getting ass like that. I'm not gay, but dude.
No, I've always thought that shit was. I've always thought that shit was like it blew my mind how like accessible it was, because it's like as a dude in general, and as a dude in general, you're just sort of like, man, I'm ready to go like all the fucking time. It feels like, and it's like, and it'd be, and for them, it's like only dudes. So it's like it's a bunch of dudes that are ready to go all the fucking time, and it's just like I'm like jealous. It's like how like there's no one, but then I'm also like a bit of like a I don't know what to call it, like a fucking
You're on the
princess
outside
about
looking
shit.
in.
Like I'm fucking dainty about shit. So even if there were like a bunch of women that were like always about it too, like if there's an app where it's just like I don't know, Linder, where it's just like like a straight app where it's like a bunch of chicks that just want to go all the time, I'd also be like, nah, I don't know.
You'd be like, what's wrong with these hoes?
Yeah, there's something. It's like you, like all y'all, like we're all just hooking up with people all the fucking time. No,
But hey, game is game, and it doesn't bother me.
No, exactly. I have a feeling even if I was gay, I'd still be the same way because I'd just be like, how many dicks have been in it or like around this dude today? I can't just have that. I need my own. Fuck that.
This man wants to be hugged. This man wants to be cuddled and serenaded.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I like that.
So this has been another edition. This has been another edition of It's Too Early for All That. If you find yourself saying, hey, yo, or pause while you tell a random story, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Grow up.
Don't worry. They can only attack you.